Broadcast Network, KSAM Huntsville, your hometown radio.
We're live from True Texas Barbecue. I want to welcome everybody in. I'm Hipp, along with head coach Rodney. So a little different setup. Brian Adams decided that he was going to take the night off tonight, Coach. He's down in Austin again. He's doing some work. So, Brian, we miss you. We love you, buddy. But tonight it's just me up here, and so I want to welcome everybody in. And before we get started, I want to give a big shout-out to, I believe it's Torrance and Victor back there slinging the barbecue. Can we give it up for those guys tonight? Appreciate them. And our good friends here at True Texas Barbecue. And there was a first responders group that was here tonight, but I think they've disassembled. So I wanted to give them a special recognition, but they headed out a little bit early. So as always, we want to thank all of those that are helping our communities. Well, we look back, Coach, in this first segment. It was a tough contest, of course, on the road, 49-6 versus C.E. King, a very tough 6A opponent. They boasted handfuls of Division I players. Of course, we talked about that in the previous show. It was the first regular season loss in nearly 2 years. Coach, you and I have known each other long enough now over the past couple of years. You know I don't like to dwell on the negative, so I'm just going to basically hit one or two questions. You know, obviously a tough loss, Coach, this past Friday to close out non-district play. C.E. King took advantage of some mishaps, a tough night for the Hornet offense to get going. And, you know, to be fair, though, the kids were dealing, you know, with a lot going on. I know that there was a lot on their hearts that night, also some injuries and those kind of things. Just kind of your thoughts on that game, Coach.
Well, it was disappointing, you know, and disappointing in the fact that, you know, not winning or losing, because there's going to come a point, you know, and I said it to the newspaper, you know, we've kind of gotten spoiled around here, you know, winning a lot of football games, and then when you do lose one, everybody kind of looks for reasons why, you know, and we played a really, really good football team. I think they're underrated in terms of the level of talent, and they're underrated partially because of the district they're in with Galena Park, North Shore, and a lot of the teams that are historically really, really good in 6A. So disappointing. And then, you know, and obviously the injury that happened early in the game, that's always tough for kids a lot of times to handle and to try to bounce back from. And you know, we were also dealing with some other things, but that's not an excuse. You know, they lined up physically and beat us in every phase of the game, and did it with some very talented football players, obviously, but we also helped them. We gave them 14 points basically off turnovers, and did some things that we historically haven't done. But you know, that's also why you play a non-district schedule. That's also why you play tough teams, or try to play tough teams, because you see the same thing happening all across the state. You know, Willis beat A&M Consolidated that same night. So, you know, and that was kind of unexpected. But, you know, our kids will bounce back. We've had a good week of practice and a good week of prep. And, you know, and everybody's 0-0. And that's a old cliche, but it is true. You know, now we've got 3 games before an open week, and we've got to take care of our business.
Coach, you know, we've seen some of the defensive guys kind of switch over and play a little bit of offense. We saw that with Calvin Simmons a couple of weeks. Saw that also, of course, with Seth Carroll. Do you kind of prepare for those situations heading into each week with those defensive guys making a transition to offense, and kind of how does that work?
Well, what we normally do, you know, we've done it a lot of different ways over the years, but, you know, we have some guys that we know if we need to use them on one side of the ball or the other that we can, and we work that into our practice schedule where they're primary defense or primary offense, but they have at least some time where they know a few of the things that we would need them to do. You know, Calvin's done that for a couple years. Seth Carroll did it the other night at tight end, and part of that's out of necessity because, you know, we've got some guys banged up and some guys that are hopefully going to be back this week from injury. But our depth is not enough now at the skill positions where we can just say you're just going to be one side of the ball. There's a couple offensive guys, if we needed them to go in and play in the secondary, we could do that as well.
It was a night where we saw those injuries. You talked about that. What did you tell the guys after the game, Coach?
Well, big thing, we went in at halftime. When you're down at halftime, you kind of at that point have to go back and kind of refocus. I said play well the third and fourth quarter. You can't do anything about injuries. You can't do about anything that happened 5-10 minutes ago, but you can do something about what happens after this. And I thought we played much better the second half. But at the same time, we also had some other guys that got opportunities to play that may not have gotten opportunities to play in a game, and that's good for those kids. And then at that point, you kind of focus on win this play, win this series, whatever it is, and then you kind of forget it. And, of course, we had Coach Williams' funeral Saturday, so we took the kids to that, and you kind of put that one to bed and focus on Brian Rudder.
Couple of things out of that game, even in a loss, anything on the positive side that you can pull from that one and kind of look and say, hey, we're going to build upon that?
Well, Monday morning I showed them a play of Nemo Winfrey hustling on a play, and it was a play probably in the second or third quarter, and when they broke that long run, and Nemo made a choice during that play. I could have kind of run and let the guy score, but he hustles all the way across the field and knocks a guy out of bounds at the 3 or 4 yard line. And you've got quality kids and quality competitors when you see that in a game that you probably, at some point, hey, we're not going to win this football game, but I look for those kind of plays like that, or guys hustling and still trying to be competitive. And that play just kind of jumped out at me because Nemo was on the other side and had to turn and go all the way across the field, and he could have very easily let the guy go. Because I think, and actually he and I talked about it, I said if it was a foot race, that guy probably outruns him. But because he's hustling and he's a competitor, you want to acknowledge that. And then, we didn't watch a bunch of the film because obviously we would have done that on Saturday morning. So, we kind of moved on because we got to move on because this game coming up is much more important than that one.
Well, we'll put that one in the history books, Coach, and we'll move on from this first segment and take a break here in just a few moments. I want to remind everybody tonight as well, of course, if you're here in the audience, it is an opportunity. We have our Huntsville Hornet Limited Edition football, so if you haven't already, make sure that you fill out a card, drop it into the box in front of us. That's an opportunity. And for those of you listening on the radio, of course, if you come out here in person, you've still got time, by the way. If you come out here in person every Wednesday night, 6:30, still got time tonight to get over here, fill out your name, and you can be in that drawing that we're going to have. The more times you come to the show, the more chances you have to win. I was telling the guys back there, you can't put your name in 20 times in one show. Stephanie was trying to sneak one in. I'm just kidding, Stephanie. She was not doing that. So for now, though, we'll step aside. We'll take a break. When we come back, we'll look at the second segment as we look ahead to Huntsville hosting Rudder. That coming up when we come back. This is the Hornet Nation Coaches Show right here on the Hornet Nation Broadcast Network.
Fire people driving from all over Texas to Wiesner Hyundai to get a real deal. And during Wiesner's September to Remember sales event, save even more. Get a 2021 Hyundai Elantra SEL, Sonata SE, or Tucson Value, your choice, 0% for 60 months. Get this 2021 Santa Fe SE, 0.60 months. Get a real deal today. Buy for less at Wiesner Hyundai. Exit 87B, Wilson Road in Conroe, or WiesnerHyundai.com.
Check out America's best warranty, 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty, and the Hyundai Assurance Program today.
COVID-19 rapid testing is now available at TexPress Urgent Care in Huntsville. No symptoms are needed. Now you can get tested even faster and get your results back faster too. Not sure which test is right for you? TexPress Urgent Care is happy to help. For more details, call 936-570-2626. No appointments are needed. Walk-ins only. TexPress Urgent Care Clinic, located at 193 I-45 South. Check their website at TexPressUrgentCare.com and visit them on Facebook. That's TexPress Urgent Care next to Clips in Huntsville.
All right, friends, back at it here from True Texas Barbecue. How's everybody doing tonight? Our good friend Justin Kring is here. Justin gets here early, man. He's a big Hornet supporter, and of course all of our other friends that are here tonight. Andre, good to have you in the house as well. At this time, I also like to thank some of our sponsors. I always tell you, if you sponsor these broadcasts, we'll give you a special recognition. Our good friend Miss Stephanie Pitts from Advantage Specialties is here. Thank you, Stephanie, for being here tonight. And then also our good friend Mr. Sam Moak. So good to have y'all in the barbecue house tonight here at True Texas Barbecue. Appreciate it. We're here with head coach Rodney Southern. Coach, Hornets, of course, opening up district play at home this Friday, hosting Rudder. Kickoff scheduled for 7:30, so I think I got that one right.
Yeah.
Last season, the Hornets defeating Rudder on the road. It was 36-17. How has the preparation been heading into this one? You mentioned earlier it's 0-0 now, and basically a new season as you start district play.
Yeah, because everybody that in our district except Montgomery will actually play a district game Friday night or Friday and Saturday. But the preparation's been good. Of course, Monday and Tuesday was a little bit hot, but of course today the drop in temperature always kind of makes your practice a little bit more lively, and we actually got through a little bit ahead of schedule today in terms of what we needed to get done. But we've got a challenge this week because Brian Rudder's playing really well. They didn't get the opportunity to play this past week because the team they were supposed to play had some hurricane issues, so they ended up canceling the game and they couldn't find another game. So we're kind of even. Both of us have played 3 games, hopefully to our